How do you build a common language and a common way to talk about innovation, to talk about collaboration, to talk about business model, to talk about strategy even? Because so often these terms get thrown around, right? Oh, we need a new business model. And if you asked, oh, well, what is a business model? If you really asked, you'd get an answer, but you might get 5, 10 different answers depending on who you were asked. So it's just the nature, we're all busy, and we all also just want to be validated, and we want to think about that we're going to do where we spend our time, but yet we kind of fly terms past each other. And so what we learned was you really have to ground, if you really want to drive innovation and collaboration and the ability to move forward, you have to make sure that one person's not speaking French and the other person's speaking English and the other person's speaking German. You want to make sure we're all speaking the same language and to not underestimate the importance of language development. So that was the first we learned. The second was the best way you're going to move past the ability to move past the inability to transform or do things different is demonstrate. Like the organization can hear all the case studies it wants, but it's really not going to turn until you demonstrate. So getting back in market to do something in a small foothold and seeing how it works, and we can talk about a lot of company examples that have transformed that way. So that's the second, is if you had the physics principles or the chemistry principles, then you got to apply it in a way to sort of demonstrate it. And so we'd say demonstrate it as a business model innovation in a foothold market. Steve Blank, who's not too far from here at University of California at Berkeley, he talked about business models and our organizations, right? And he said an organization, a startup is an organization in search of a business model. It's not even a business, right? So it's to demonstrate. It's not even a business yet, it's an organization, right? It's a bunch of collaborators coming up to try to discover a new business model. And once you have the business model, then you have a business. And then you can start to talk about scaling, right? So that's the second piece, you got to demonstrate. And it's different than anything else. It's not true design thinking, because in design you'd say, give me the requirements, I'll create the blueprint, and then I'll go build it. In this world of discover and development, the way you've developed the requirements, you didn't get them all right. The blueprint of the business model isn't quite right. And the way you implement things you could have done it a different way. So it's messy and it's iterative, and it's certainly not like building a house. So that's why it's this empirical you got to learn. So my point of it is, though, got to build this language. You got to demonstrate in the right way, and you got to be patient for development of the right business model. And then you've got to build a system by which you can repeatably do this in an organization to not only exploit, but also to explore in a true sense, not just an R&D explore, but a true business exploration.